'Tis the 13th. Oh, spooky. Oh, Friday the 13th. There you go. Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Let's Play Dark Souls. I believe that it is currently part 25 for my first playthrough of this game, or rather, it's not. When I say my first playthrough of this game, it makes it sound as if, like, this is the first time I'm ever playing the game. What I mean to say is that, you know, this is the first build that I'm doing on this channel. Don't, like, you know, get confused. But anyway, it is currently the 13th of October, which is Friday the 13th. I think the last time that I recorded on Friday the 13th, or at the very least the last time that I was aware of it, was when I was doing my second build for Dark Souls 2, which is interesting, but anyway. Yeah, I don't know if I can expect to experience something rather unlucky, but I suppose we will have to see. I did some stuff off camera, and I will show you what I did off camera. You will be able to see Murakumo plus 15, Pike plus 14, and Lightning Man Serpent Greatsword plus 4. So at this stage, I am pretty content with how far these weapons have gone, because basically both of these weapons need slabs to be upgraded, and there is no chance on the face of this earth that I'm going to be spending a slab on this pike, because I'll just show you. The current damage that I have with this Murakumo is quite impressive, because it's currently an A scaling and it does have pretty high physical, so yeah, we're looking at almost the 555 there, which is really nice, and I'm like literally 1 point away from that lovely repeating sequence of numbers, but you can see 387 for this weapon, and you know, it's alright for a spear, I suppose. I mean, spears are not supposed to be super powerful, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's alright, but at the very least, I probably will use the Demon Spear over it, because it'll probably just do more damage in general. You can see that it does have more overall damage, but of course, half of it, or more than half actually, is lightning damage. So yeah, I don't know whether or not it's better than the pike for us at this stage. I will say that not only is the Demon Spear doing more damage overall, it is also longer. It's the longest weapon in the game, whereas the pike is, I'm assuming, the second longest, so there you go. Next of all, we do have this weapon, which is sitting at 519 as my second strongest weapon, but I will mention that the Murakumo is considerably more effective because it's stronger overall, and it also has all of those points of attack in pure physical, which is generally going to be a lot better, because as far as elemental damage is concerned, that depends on the resistances of the enemy that you're fighting. There could be an enemy that has high resistance to lightning, but if you're going to be attacking with a pure physical weapon, it doesn't matter what resistance they have to an element, because you're just going to get hit with that full physical damage anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to be using the Murakumo here because it's my strongest weapon, and I think that I should be using the strongest weapon that I have against the, what do you call it, Four Kings boss that will be coming up here. But you can see how much damage I'm doing to this guy right now. 2 one-handed strikes against him and he is dead. He's being an asshole right now. I generally fight them differently to how I'm doing it right now, because as you can see, this is not the most effective means of fighting them. This is how I deal with these guys. Not that, actually, I do the jump attack. But anyway, what we're actually going to do here is take on the Four Kings without trying to deal with the fact that we are currently reliant on 2 rings. Of course, we are reliant on them, I won't deny that, but keep in mind that there is always the option to just deal with having a fat roll. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing for this boss fight, so yeah. What I'm going to do is just ignore all of these enemies, couldn't give a shit about them at this stage. I just want to go and kill the boss. I'm sick of it. Because the reason why I'm sick of it is because I've been going through this area for so long, farming chunks, and you know, I just want to deal with the boss now. I've had enough. I did level up a little bit off camera. Keep in mind that you need to continue going down here, otherwise you'll get assaulted by ghosts. You can drop into the abyss from the very top if you want. You just need to be really close about when you're, or really close with, why am I saying close? You need to be really careful with how you edge off, and I suppose you do need to be really close, that's a point. I was being a bit stupid. You can't go too far off, otherwise you'll fall too far forwards and land on a lower ledge, so yeah, anyway, I'm going to equip the Covenant of Artorias ring, which will allow us to continue down here, otherwise, yeah, we're going to have a serious problem. But, yeah, definitely people who just kind of go through this game blind will likely make this mistake, but anyway, we do need the Abyss ring to get down here. Alright, the Abyss. It is quite abyssal, isn't it? I think if we just continue in a straight line here, we should just have the Four Kings boss appear in front of us. If not, then I'm going to be sad. Alright, this is kind of what we wanted. I'm pretty sure that this is like no proper area here, it's just, you know, a thing that exists, and the size of it is just going to remain infinite as we continue through here. I'm going to do as much damage as I can to you. We are going to have absolutely no problems killing this boss because we are doing so much damage right now, it is unbelievable. We have 40 dexterity and 30 strength with a quality weapon that has an A scaling with dexterity and what is it? An E? Okay, not as much of a strength scaling as I was expecting. Basically what's happening here is that we're waiting for the next Fork King boss to spawn because we killed the other one so freaking fast. But yeah, having a good shield for this boss definitely does help. Once again, I would say that this is very similar to the Great Grey Wolf Sith. Either you have a really good shield or you have the ability to roll lightly. If you don't have either, then you're fucked. So yeah, some bosses you'll be able to get by without a really good shield, but this is not one of them. And if you don't have a really good shield, oh for fuck's sake. I can't get out of here fast enough, this is my problem, because I don't have movement on my side, so I guess I'm going to be fully relying on my shield at this point. You can see how much stamina it's actually consuming as I'm using my shield here to shield the attacks. If it's consuming that much fucking stamina with a shield like this, you can imagine a normal shield. So generally I would recommend... I'm just going to have to take this hit, I suppose. I don't know if I can curl around to the side here and avoid it. Yeah, okay, cool. But yeah, oh, you still came behind me, you piece of shit. I'm going to have to heal now because I don't want to risk it. But yeah, pretty much, I'm definitely well leveled for this fight. I'm not under leveled whatsoever. So, you know, this is kind of, I would say, slightly overpowered for this boss. This is appropriate for maybe later bosses past the Four Kings, but I don't really want to waste my time too much with this guy. I just like to get him out of the way. I'm going to take a little bit of damage there, and then, well, not damage, but I'm going to take the hit with my shield. Oh god, I'm not taking the damage. I guess I am taking a little bit of damage because this weapon that the Four Kings is using is something that can actually damage through your shield. Now, a fun fact about this weapon that the Four Kings is using, this was originally planned to be a weapon that we could actually create in the game, but it was scrapped. Basically, the sword design is present within the, I guess, game metadata, and yeah, so it does actually have an image of the sword existing as like an item that we can acquire, more specifically a weapon. But anyway, there is the Bequeathed Lord's Soul. Can't really remember what we do with that. This guy is like flopping around in the wind. Gonna light this bonfire, and then I suppose we're gonna talk to him. I think you do need to talk to him more or less. We're going to do his thing, and then I think we're going to answer yes to all of his questions. At least I think we do. Very well. Yeah, okay. Entrust thine flesh to me. That is a great meme from the good old days. But anyway, yeah. So we're making pretty good time in this video, I think. I'm just a little bit, how do you say? I don't know. I feel like because I've just had a big breakfast, I'm a little bit, you know, not present in the game at the moment. I'm just a little bit, you know, subconsciously acting on what it is that I'm doing, and also talking subconsciously. I'm skipping all cutscenes because I'm an arsehole. Sorry guys, I got interrupted. So, even though acquiring the Lord Vessel here is pretty much what gave us the ability to warp, even though we are parting with the Lord Vessel, we will still be able to warp, so don't freak out. I do like this little area. You can see where this is, or maybe you can't. I guess if you haven't gone to Lost Islith, you can't see where this is. But yeah, it's Lost Islith, long story short. It's in this general direction. But past that door is the final area of the game, but we're not going to be going there just yet. The Lord Vessel is a warpable bonfire, but I don't think it is at this point. So, yeah. Regardless, we are going to return to the Abyss here, and if you want, you can... What do you do with this guy? Like, what does his covenant do? I can't remember. Let me try to remember. Oh, why can't I remember? It has something to do with... Like, if you give him humanity, I think he will give you stuff in return. Oh, he gives you the red eye, doesn't he? Yeah, he gives you the infinite use cracked red eye orb. I think that's what his covenant does. I think you need to give him 10 humanity for that. And then there might be a better reward later on, I can't really remember. But regardless, I think we will level up with these souls. Do I have anything? Yeah, I do have the Bequeathed Lord's Soul, but I don't really know if I want to consume that. I can't... Oh, that's right. It's a key item, I think. Yeah, I thought so. There you go. So the Bequeathed Lord's Soul Shard, I think, is what allows us to go into the archive areas? I don't know. Could be wrong about that. Maybe not. I think maybe the Lord Vessel is what allows us to do that. We would know if we were able to watch the cutscenes. I mean, we were able to, but I didn't, so yeah, I didn't choose to watch them because I skipped them, so there you go. Let's go level up maybe twice. Can we manage twice? Excellent, we can manage twice. So what I'll probably do, I don't know, maybe we'll get Vitality to 25, and then aim to get Endurance to 30. I think that is our next aim. I'm going to leave Dexterity at 40 for a while, because I think 40 is the soft cap for Dexterity scaling, but I could be wrong about that. Might be 50. Either or. But, yeah, now we have 1,000 health, finally. And, yeah, that's about it for our leveling up. So, yeah, I will mention, as far as our character at this stage, for new game, I think this is what we're going to be sticking with. Like, there's no real reason for us to do anything else. We can take off the Covenant of Artorias at this stage, because it would be kind of inconvenient if we couldn't actually go to this area without having the ring equipped. But, yeah, anyway, as I was trying to say there, is I think we're more or less happy with our current character's state. At this stage, we are just going to be increasing our levels and stuff so that we can... I mean, endurance is kind of important for me at this point, because I do want to be able to make do without the Ring of Favour and Protection later on, and also make use of Goth's Great Bow later on. I mean, I know that we do have the Dragon Slayer Great Bow on us right now, but Goth's Great Bow is considerably better, and that is something that we can get later on in the DLC area. Now, I will probably do the whole of the Duke's Archives before I do the DLC area, because it's kind of a difficult area to go through. We should be okay to go through there at soul level 80. Generally, I would make my minimum soul level around 70 to go into the DLC area. That's my general recommendation for you, if you are planning to go in there, because you do kind of need to deal with the first boss, which is quite a challenge. Is it the Guardian or something like that? It's not just the Guardian, it's Sanctuary Guardian, I think it is called. It's a really annoying boss to deal with, and there are... You've got Artorias, but he's not too difficult, and then Manus is just full on. He's very strong. Manus is kind of like final boss level in terms of not so much difficulty, but in terms of how much damage he deals and how much health he has and defense and all of that. He's kind of final boss material, because, you know, it's a DLC in a game like this. There was no DLC in Demon's Souls, so they were kind of, you know, giving the long-time players some additional content, I suppose. So I guess they were expecting that you'd be high-leveled by the time you got to Manus, and you probably would be, because there is a long way for you to go in the DLC before you get to Manus, at least, kind of. The strongest boss in the game, I think, is technically the Black Dragon Calamite, but he's not too difficult to kill either, and he's an optional boss that exists in the DLC. His weapon is rather nice. I probably won't use it, though. It might actually be good for a quality build, I'm not too sure, I can't remember its stats, but good quality weapons. I think maybe the Artoria stuff could be quality, I think. But I think it's also... I think Artorias' stuff is everything, like it scales with all stats, that's my memory of it. It's something like a C scaling or B scaling with all stats, but it could actually be a decent quality weapon as well, so... If I get the Great Sword of Artorias and all of that in the later playthroughs that I do on this build, then I suppose that will be a good thing. But yeah, I don't know, I'm not necessarily expecting to continue into New Game Plus anytime soon. So I will probably be prioritising my other builds instead of trying to, you know, make this quality build a little bit better. I'm not a huge fan of this build, to be honest. I don't like quality so much in this game, but... Anyway, I'm going to... What am I going to do, actually? Will we just go straight into the Duke's Archives? Maybe we should just aim to finish the game. That could be what we're doing. I mean, I'm not, like, going to finish it immediately, obviously, because there is quite a bit that we need to do, but I suppose we will, by the end of this video, aim to be at the first Duke's Archives bonfire. Let's go do that. As I did mention in one of my previous videos, can't remember exactly what part it was that I said this, but I do generally like to do the final 3 areas in the same order. Duke's Archives, Tomb of the Giants, that's what it's called, and Lost Islith, in that order. I kind of do it because it's fun. Sometimes I will switch the order of Dukes and the Tomb, but I generally, I don't know, it's not as often that happens, but anyway... let us go in the direction of the Duke's Archives. If you ever go in this direction before now, you will have been walking into a big gold thing. Or maybe, you know, if you did it before finishing Anor Londo, at the very least you'd be looking at a big gold thing. But you don't want to be looking at a big gold thing, you want to be actually doing a few other things before getting to the big gold thing. And then once the big gold thing isn't there, you will be able to enter these areas. So yeah, just up through here is, and it really does look a little bit like Anor Londo, the Duke's Archives. It looks like it belongs in Anor Londo. It was once a part of that general city complex, but anyway, as we continue in through here, we will have a big boar, and this will probably intimidate players who haven't played this game before. Because, to be honest, if you do fight this guy, or attempt to fight him in the area between the Undead Burg and the Undead Parish, you're probably going to have a bad time. But anyway, I'm just going to do as much damage as I can here. Doing really heavy attacks that don't bounce off him will be fine, because you will probably be bouncing off him regardless. I think there are some weapon types that don't bounce, but yeah, if you can try and do heavy attacks on him, you'll be fine. Anyway, just try to be smart with how you fight him. He can be a bit annoying. If you don't have a good shield, it's definitely annoying, but fortunately I do have a good shield. And there is a guy just around the corner here as well, so beware of him. Or be wary of him, I should say. Beware of him as well, I suppose. Knowing that he's there is half the battle. Because if you just walk into him and you're not paying attention and he just like beats the shit out of you, you probably aren't going to be very appreciative of that. So there you go, we've got the Fang Boar Helm, which is probably not something that we're going to do. Or something that we're going to use, rather. Now, I was talking about the Velka's Rapier jump. Now, if you think that's bad, try the Duke's Archives drop. Now, that's a fun thing that exists. And I did master it once. And, like, by master it, I mean that I could consistently do it at one specific period of time in my Dark Souls career, but I'm not even going to attempt it this time because I just don't want to do it. It's basically just before you, I think, force yourself to die to Seath the Scalers the first time in this area, and yeah, it's kind of, it's not fun, basically. But in the next video, I am going to, let me think actually, do we need to, I'm just thinking as far as going to the DLC area, do we need to rescue Dusk of Ulasil before we actually get the item up here, or do we get that item first and then rescue Dusk? I can't remember. But I think this video is going to be a little bit short. It's not going to be quite hitting the 20-minute mark because, you know, we are making very good time in this video, fortunately. But yeah, I think we will just continue into the Duke's Archives in the next video, so once again, it is the 13th of October 2017 as I'm recording this, and I will see you guys in part 26. Catch you guys then.